What's up, guys? Hey, I was just thinking about two different companies that I know of, people that I know that own these companies. I won't tell you what industry. They're not in real estate. They're in service, and I'll just tell you they're HVAC companies. I don't know why I was gonna not tell you that, but I know one that is just one guy. He had somebody that worked for him before, maybe a couple people, but just never worked out. Lots of turnover, and he's just doing everything himself. So, guy in a truck does the work, runs the company, does any sort of marketing that they do, which is pretty minimal probably. And then I know another company that does the exact same thing, service, they install new HVAC stuff, and they have a fleet of probably 50 vans and technicians that are out doing everything. And I started to question, like, well, what is the difference between those two, right? And part of this, some of this is I've been, if you've seen some other recent videos, I have a 18-year-old nephew that's kind of doing an internship with us. I'm trying to teach him some things, and I was just thinking about this concept of thinking bigger. And I think that the difference between these companies. Now, by the way, I should say that I totally agree that some people would prefer to have a simple business and have a simple life. But I don't think that that's what's going on here. And I don't think that's what's going on in most cases. I would argue that the simpler life, it may be more complicated for the person with a much bigger company, but they have a life they've built that they can probably travel and do things they want to do, have nice things, be able to give back a lot more because they have a team that can handle a lot of the day-to-day stuff. In that company, for sure, the owner is not going out servicing things himself anymore, although he started that way. But the other person is doing it all. And honestly, that is a very difficult life because you're just chained to the job. You don't have a business, you have a job, and the job owns you. So I want to just kind of share some thoughts around kind of thinking bigger, because I think all this starts to begin with your mindset, what's possible. Now, what happens is, from a management standpoint, a lot of us say, well, I'm the only one that can do it right. I do it the best. Just let me do it, let me do it, let me do it. The problem is you run out of time. You just don't have time. By the way, we all got into business for ourselves rather than working for somebody else. So we had more control over our time. But if you have a business like that, no matter what industry you're in, you don't have time. And you don't even have a business. The job owns you, right? That is not the goal. Back to the cash flow quadrant with Robert Kiyosaki. You are self-employed. Honestly, you're probably bordering on just the E spot because you're an employee. It just happens to be for a company that you have some ownership in, right? But I think the power is really getting around other people that are helping you think bigger. That's one of the beauties of the Investor Fuel Mastermind, for example, is a lot of people have come into that business. I won't drop any names here. They've come into our mastermind and have literally, there's somebody that I can mention right now that has 8x'd their business. They were doing 30, 40 houses a year, and now they're doing around 300 deals a year. And they, honestly, they'd get all the credit for that. They did all the work. But they would cite that being in the Investor Fuel Mastermind helped them think bigger, help them find somebody that's doing something that they wanted to do or that they knew they should do from a lead gen perspective or something else, and seek that person out and say, can I spend some time with you? Can we have dinner together tonight? Can I talk about these things, about how you did that, how you overcame that? Because a lot of the tactics that we use in our business to grow our business are not rocket science. It just takes learning, having faith in yourself, being willing to put the investment in, because these things require money or people resources, which also comes back to money, right? It's just a matter of thinking bigger, surrounding yourself with the right people to help you think bigger, and never being satisfied with just getting by. Again, there's a difference between having a simple life, but a simple business, I would argue, never provides a simple life. It always is going to be more complicated because you're the person stuck doing everything. So that's my kind of thought for today. Just think big, surround yourself with the right people. By the way, if you're interested in the Investor Fuel Mastermind, we just announced that we added on two commercial groups. We call them the cash flow groups. They'll be predominantly multifamily investors, in addition to all of our, around 100 single family investors. And so we have some amazing things going on in Investor Fuel. You can go to investorfuel.com and apply to learn more. Just jump on a call with us and see if it's a fit for you. But again, just think bigger. Get around people doing bigger things. They're going to force you out of your comfort zone, and whatever you can imagine is possible. You didn't get in your business to think small and to be chained to a job, right? You got in it for the freedoms that it can provide. The only way you can get to those freedoms is by thinking bigger. Have a great day.